right, so we're gonna kick this card off. This is UFC on ESPN 58, Perez versus Taira, also known as UFC Vegas 93. And it should also be known as UFC Apex 100 because this is the UFC's 100th card at the Apex. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. No one really acknowledges that. I've always just thought we should name them off as Apex cards. I hate all the mixing up of everything. It's probably not the most exciting card in the world, but we stay true and tried, and we break these cards down every week. So, unfortunate for Trace, he is the guy who does a lot of our tape study around here, and man, I'm sorry on this one. Usman, you want to do some tail of the tape today? I don't think we need to hit it on all of the fights, but I could throw you the ones that I think we should if you're cool with that.
I think this dude said he's on Jeepers Creepers 2 duty tonight.
Oh, he's got all his kids over there. He's got like 37 of them or something, I heard. I don't know.
Mexicans, man, I swear. They just don't know when to stop.
All right, so first up is Melquizael Costa versus Shayilan Nuerdanbekov. We'll start with the odds. Nuerdanbekov is plus 153. That's over 33 books. Our site takes the average. The new feature that I haven't dropped that I should have. Couple of stories reporting in on these guys. Couple headlines if you search them. Costa is minus 192. I'm not going to hit all these stats. They've got some UFC fights. Costa is a striker. Both guys grapple. Costa does both. Both guys got decent grappling and shitty takedown defense. Trace, what do you got on this fight, bud?
Yeah, both these guys are both coming off of losses to Steve Garcia. Man, honestly, going into that Steve Garcia, I was pretty high on Melky Acosta, but yeah, I still think he's the better fighter here. Shayilan Nuerdanbekov kind of. I mean, he does have a lot of experience, but it's not against good guys. His wins aren't against very good guys. Yeah, I think this is probably a solid over fight. There's probably gonna be a lot of wrestling in this fight, a lot of grappling, a lot of trying to control the other one. And it's really just gonna be whoever has the better cardio and who has the better game plan. So I do think Costa's probably should be the favorite. Minus 180 seems pretty close to what it should be. So still got some value on him at minus 180. So yeah, give me Costa by decision in this fight.
I like the over here. You know me, I'm the over-under guy. I'm a fucking whore for that shit. I definitely like the over here, but that's my only take on this fight. I'm not very high on either one of them. Aussie, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I kind of like Nuerdanbieke at this price, man. This guy hits pretty hard. He's got a knockdown in his last 3 fights, and he's got the grappling upside. I think he's going to win these wrestling exchanges. I think he could even hurt Costa on the feet. We know that they both lost to Garcia in their last fight, but I could see something like that happen. I could definitely see Costa getting caught, getting hit hard, and maybe even finished. I think most likely a decision, but Nuerdanbieke at plus money, yeah, he's an easy dog for me. I've thought about it a lot, and I just can't. No one can talk me off it, and yeah, I think he's probably going to get bet down a little bit as the time gets closer because he's a nice looking dog to me. I like getting him out of the way early too, betting the dog early. Yeah.
I just want to let you know, if you don't know, he did lose to Rongju. That does not bode well. Rongju was
but did you
supposed to be
see
the
what he
next
did to Derek Minner, dude?
Dude, Derek Minner basically gave him that. That was
come
the
on,
that was Krausgate, bro.
That
there would
is
be investigations and everything if that was true, man. Come on.
That's
bro.
Krausgate. That's Krausgate, bro.
Yeah, I'm
they
fucking
know
with you,
that
bro. I'm fucking
happened.
with you.
They know that happened. All right. So we're split on that fight, but everybody's on the over.
Let's
Ozzy,
take the over. Yeah, I feel like that's a solid over.
Yep, I got to agree. Next up, Josefine Knutsson versus Julia Polastri. This is also reporting over 33 books with lines as old as 16 days. Knutsson is a minus 204 average, and Polastri is a plus 160 average. These ladies are fighting at 115. Knutsson is notable to be 7-0 right now, 3-0 in the UFC. Polastri is 12-3. She's 1-1 in the UFC. She lost to Jasmine Jasdavicius, and then beat I cannot remember who she beat right now, but then she beat somebody. This is a free over. This is an absolutely free over. If you play parlays and you don't throw this one on your parlay, I don't understand it. Even if somehow, by some way, from the sky opens up and there is a fucking finish in this fight, 99.999% of the time, this fight is gonna go over 2.5 rounds. So, that's my take on this fight. Trace, what's your take? Where are you at on this fight?
I was just looking this Pilastri's UFC debut coming off a Contender Series. She did have a finish in the Contender Series fight to get here. She beat a 9-2 Patricia Alujas by rear naked choke. Pilastri's got 4 KOs and 3 submissions in her 12 wins, so she is primarily a finisher, a 50-50 when it comes to finishes. Yeah, man, I feel like it's just a safe over. I do think that Knutsson is the rightful favorite. It's hard to say in women's MMA if somebody that's minus 200 deserves that line, but Polastri doesn't really show me anything that makes me want to take a shot on the dog value. So yeah, I'll just have this fight in the over, and depending on what Usman's split strat says, maybe potential a split prop, because Judge has been weird lately, man. We might have to start playing splits in a lot of these women's fights from now on. Maybe in most fights in general.
Yeah, that's not a bad look at all. What I was thinking the other day is we need to look at low played markets, or not low played, low visited regions. If a region doesn't see much action, we know that they're going to want local judges on their card, right? We also know when they go to Texas, they want local judges on those cards. So we've got to start accounting for that when it comes to split decisions, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel pretty confident in saying that that's a good thing to start watching for. Up next, though, let me get over to the odds board because I was making my notes on the over here. All right, so we shouldn't have to kill this one. Up next is Jeka versus Westin Wilson. 16 books reporting, or 34 books reporting for 16 days. Minus 345 for Jeka, plus 261 for Westin Wilson. Yeah, there's some stories coming in on these guys, but man, this is an under. This is a fight goes to decision. Absolutely not. If you don't want to take a side for some reason, Jack is going to beat the shit out of Westin Wilson. This isn't even there's not much to talk about here. Trace, go ahead.
Man, see, I'm actually wanting to take a shot on Westin Wilson's sub prop this week. I think, man, Jacket did not look like. I know Mike's got a different view on it, and he'll be in here later. I'd like to get his view on this fight. I know he's pretty adamant on the side that he's on, but man, I just think the size matters in low-level fights, and that's what this is. This is a low-level fight. This is a winnable fight for Westin Wilson. Yes, it's another power puncher, and if he rolls for a fucking knee bar again and pins himself on the ground to get punched in the face till he goes to sleep, then the man deserves it, you know? But I think he is literally a takedown away in this fight from winning at any point. Jeka overextends. Jeka throws big bombs. He throws power, but he leaves himself off balance when he does. Westin, like I said, Westin Wilson's the much bigger fighter, the much bigger guy, and he's going to be a lot heavier on fight day. Yeah, man, I think if he's able to get him down, he gets a submission this fight. So I'll have a small wager, probably a quarter unit bet on his sub prop. Probably his I might do the round props like I always do on FanDuel as well, depending on how juiced they are. If I get better lines that way, but yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on Westin Wilson this weekend. May look stupid, but hey, he's a minus or plus like 200 something dog. He's supposed to lose.
He is supposed to lose, and he's going to get knocked out. Jeka is going to knock his ass out. Yeah, bro. Even if he shoots for the
Bro, this
takedown,
this is one of those fights where you have two finishers that are coming from two different backgrounds. You have the knockout guy versus the submission guy. We're gonna have a weird, sloppy decision fight. Watch, the over's gonna hit.
no fucking way. Because even when Westin shoots for takedowns, and Jeka's halfway stuffing one, if that happens in the first 3-4 minutes, Jeka will hurt him from there. He'll fucking hit him in the side of the head and hurt him from there. Yeah, I just think Jeka hits that hard, and I think we know that Westin cannot take a fucking punch. And I don't think Jeka has ever been submitted, ever. I'm trying to look right now, actually, while I'm talking. Aussie, go ahead and get after it, and then I'll look that up. But I don't think he's ever been submitted. Oh, fuck,
Yeah,
he's been submitted twice. I was wrong about that shit. How long ago was that? Oh, yeah, okay, so that was his first fight, and then 5 years ago almost. 4 years ago. Anyways, go ahead, Aussie.
yeah. I'm thinking everything Trace is thinking here. Jeka, he does hit like a truck, and he probably is going to knock this guy out. Wilson's not good. He's really not good. He's scared of getting hit. He's going to be like fucking 6 inches taller than this prick. If he does get this fight to the ground in round one, and he does get a submission. I think that's his win equity. Like we were saying last week with Reyes, if he wins, it's round one KO, and it's 10-1. How do you not bet that? I think it's the same spot here. I think his round one sub is 12-1. I think if this goes 5 minutes and he doesn't get a submission, it's probably because he's fucking asleep on the canvas. I don't think it really gets to round two at a high clip. I think he either gets knocked out or gets the submission. But I see 12-1, 13-1 out there for sub. Once our books open up here in Australia for the props, if I can get 13-1 on his round one sub, that's an auto play for me.
I couldn't agree more. I'm waiting for the same thing from my books to drop the sub props.
I will just remind you guys all that Westin Wilson sucks. Jeka is
He is
coming out,
shit. You're not wrong, Joe. You're not wrong. He's shit.
and Jeka is a hot guy as far as prospect, and he's got a good following online, and he's coming out of Asia, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't really think it's all narrative like fixed fights, but I've said all along there is a Dana White narrative. I have said this since the day you guys met me. Dana White is now at a point where he is clearly hunting harder for an Asian sensation than he ever has. And he doesn't want one, he wants 20. I'm not saying he needs to fill the whole UFC as his desire, but he needs, bro, the numbers Conor McGregor has done could be absolutely dwarfed by an Asian star or a star from India. It just absolutely make Conor McGregor look like he was not even a star. Um, and Dana White is on the hunt. And if you guys think that Dana White is letting Jeka lose to Westin fucking Wilson, if you think that he looked at that fight and said, "Oh, that's a good fight," you're fucking crazy. He looked at that fight and said, "Yeah, that's a good fight for Jeka. Do that. See if that Westin kid will take it." That's what happened, in my opinion. Ozzy, go ahead.
Sorry, one more thing, just while we're on the subject of this guy. You notice lately the UFC is really enjoying, or the matchmakers really enjoying putting tall fighters against short fighters. Seems we're seeing a lot of that, like this year. Like they put real big guys against real small guys. I guess it's to entertain the casuals or whatever. But the big guys haven't been going so well. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he does get his clock cleaned early in this one.
Well, Pradis did, right? But I would say that's due to compacted power and a punch and an uppercut and a gut shot. But I wouldn't say that they're pushing it, doing it more on purpose. I would say that they don't care anymore. It seemed like maybe they avoided it unless they had to for a long time, making it look so because it makes it look mismatched, you know. So maybe it does look better. Maybe it looks better to Asian market that I'm talking about because they like that stuff. So they're rubbing in my face. But maybe they don't care about making it look so even anymore. They don't have to. They're the fucking UFC now. Like, damn, they're the big deal. Anyways, next up. Oh shit, did I freeze? Trace, what fight is up next year? Do you know?
No, I don't have it up in front of me.
Oh, we're in trouble, boys. My browser froze. I did some dumb shit. We're in trouble. I had everything open too. God damn it.
I think
Here
it's
we go.
the Judice Fernandes fight.
Well, you guys had to hear that shit.
Yeah, so next fight is Carli Judice versus Gabrielle Fernandes. Gabrielle Fernandes. 1 second. Excuse me. So we had Carli Judice 3-1, fighting out of Mississippi, but she actually fights out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. She's about 20 minutes from my hometown. She's actually my brother's training partner, or one of his training partners. 5'7", 68-inch reach versus the Brazilian 8'3", 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. So we're doing a role reversal here, Joe. What do you got on this fight? You kick it off.
No, I'm gonna try to get the browser with. I'm gonna try to repair my computer. You can kick this off. I'll get that picks back on the mic.
All right. So yeah, I'm obviously going to be a little biased on this fight, but I don't think it's unwarranted. This is a fight where it's two strikers. Carli Judice coming off the contender series. She did lose, but she got the contract in a war with the other girl. I can't think of the other girl's name right now off the top of my head, but she's in the UFC as well, like I mentioned. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the girl that's gonna have the more volume, the more pressure, and the cardio, which Carli Judice has. She's all forward pressure, just not she doesn't stop coming forward. She's gonna throw punches and kicks and in bunches. She's had a few head kick knockouts in her amateurs and her in her pro wins. Yeah, like I said, I'm biased on here. I'm gonna give me the crazy big underdog in a fight that's gonna be a stand up war. Yeah, I'll take a shot on the dog here. Give me Carli Judice. Ozzy, you got anything on this fight? For what it's worth, I do think this is probably a safe over. So yeah, this is probably an over for somebody that doesn't want to pick a side or take a dog shot.
Yeah, I'll probably just have the dog by split. That's probably it.
It's probably a good way to play it. Like I said, I think it's going to be a probably a nice little stand-up little battle here. Joe, what you got?
I'm gonna say this. I'm at the point in betting that I have a hard time not like something has to be glaringly obvious for me not to take the over in a women's flyweight fight, and it's just not here for me. So
Like glaringly obvious. You mean Amanda Nunes in it?
like lopsided to the point where I'm like, oh my god, yeah, she's gonna fucking finish her. She's gonna choke her out. This woman's got no takedown defense, no grappling. This woman's a great grappler, or whatever the read is. But my read has to be off the charts. It has to be at least an 8.5 in confidence for me not to take the over now. Like I feel like you could just bet all women's 115 and 125 overs as fast as they come out. Just keep building parlays into the future. And I feel like you could permanently fucking profit off it. To the point that sitting right here, I'm gonna type myself a note to just start fucking hammering them as fast as I can get them online because bro, like it's another over and yeah, it's probably it's not gonna be great.
Sorry, Joe, you cutting out for a minute. I didn't know you're still going. My bad.
Oh, my bad. It's not going to be great money, but it's it's gonna fucking hit. That's just how I feel. Usman, get after it, and then Trace.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is a Korean Silva kind of situation where if she's just got a huge advantage over a girl, that's when you hit the under and you stay away from that over. But
That's who I was seeing in my head when I was saying that. Amanda Nunes and Karine Silva. Those were the women in my head where I'm like, yeah, of course you don't take the fucking over with them. Those who I'm seeing. So you're absolutely right, bro.
I'm just coming in to say I'm also on the over. I'm also on Carli Judice, or however you say it. Simply just because I like her striking just a little bit more. I thought she looked good in that contender series loss. Right now I've got over on that fight, over on Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, over on the Knutsson fight, and under 1.5 on the Westin Wilson Jeka Saragih fight for plus 344. Then, if you want to talk about just them females and the overs, you're getting both of them at minus 110. So, I always do a parlay on the first four fights of the night, and that's probably going to be it.
Yeah, that's a good play. Trace.
Completely unrelated to this card. I just want to get a rapid fire response from the guys that are on the mic real quick. So we have a fight coming up in a few weeks. It's another women's fight. So I just want to. That's why we're on the topic. We got a little time to burn because we're quick on this fight. I just want to get a view on this one. Off the top of your head, just name the fighter you think wins this fight. Um, Jillian Robertson versus the Karate Hottie Ozzy. Who do you think wins off the top of your head straight away?
Robertson.
Okay,
Robertson by submission.
Usman.
Oh, Robertson, man, it's too old for Watterson.
Za. So
Same.
anyway,
Same.
you're on. Okay, so Dead. We'll close it out with you then. All right, Dead's busy.
What fight are we on? Are we still on the Carli Judice fight?
Well, that's about Jillian Robinson versus Karate Hottie. I got a little off track.
That's all right. You gonna go bet it right now, Trace?
I already did. I'm all over Karate Hottie on this fight, man.
Yeah, you got a crush on her, bro. We all know that.
No, y'all know I'm a Jillian lover in this chat, and I'm pretty good on picking her fights. But you got somebody that historically has great takedown defense, has only fought good fighters. She's on a 4-fight losing streak, but look who's against. This is an extremely big jump in competition for Julian Robertson, and at plus 200, I took a shot on Karate Hottie. I'm on an island apparently. I guess I'm going against the public, but I'm okay with that.
Brother, next fight, please, brother.
Josh Quinlan versus Adam Fugitt. I don't know what the odds are on this one, but I'll have them up in just a second here.
It's almost
So
ridiculous. It's Fugitt's or Quinlan's like a minus 128 to a minus 101 or something like that.
plus 102 on average for Adam. So you can see him at plus money at several books. He's plus 105 a lot of places. That's 35 books reporting. Josh Quinlan minus 127 here. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to play this fight at all, but I think this is a good dog spot. Josh Quinlan isn't that good. I know he's got all this hype, and I know everybody likes him, but he's not that good. I wouldn't parlay it, but if you're just looking for a decent dog to play, I think Adam's probably a nice spot here. What are you doing on this fight, Trace?
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side, man. I think Quinlan, the more powerful striker, probably the more durable fighter of the two, definitely has been able to take a shot for most of his career. I think while Quinlan's not the fastest, just the style of fight that these two are going to bring it slightly leans in favor in Quinlan. I think he gets the shot and puts him out at some point. So I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but if the KO prop's a pretty decent line, I'll probably jump on it. But yeah, give me Quinlan by KO.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be on Quinlan by KO, to be honest.
It's already started moving. It opened at a pick'em, so it's already starting to slide in Quinlan's favor. But yeah, this is another one of them cards where I'm gonna pick my spots dependent on the prop numbers. I don't really love too many money lines on this fight.
I will say this: they set the over at 2.5, and it is minus 2. It can't be minus 210.
No,
To go,
one 1.5.
There's no way. Where's that? That's got to be reporting wrong from somewhere. Nobody's fucking doing minus 210 on the fucking over.
No, it's over 1.5, bro. Over one
Is
and
it?
a half minus 210. Yeah, I was about to say that I don't mind that over 1.5. We're looking at the strat, see what it says. Our highest hitting percentage that goes to distance is at plus 130. So it says that isn't saying it's gonna go over. But plus 130, I kind of like it for them getting close to the minus money. And then goes to split plus 400. That's telling us to hit over. For it to be at 1.5, I like that, especially if Fugitt comes out and gets his wrestling started early.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I feel. I feel like Quinlan will probably start the gas pretty quick. I don't think it'll take long. Ozzy.
Yeah, I like Fugitt here. Another underdog I like, slight underdog, but I think he can mix in the takedowns a little bit. I think if he gets hurt on the feet, he's not going to just stand there cover up. He's going to shoot for takedowns and try to do something other than just strike back or run away. So yeah, I do think Quinlan's probably got the power edge here, but I think Fugitt's got more ways to win. You know, can win minutes on the ground. Quinlan, we've seen, you know, in the past. I mean, he's, you know, been taken down a couple times. Really, his only win against Jason Witt, and really, I mean, fucking big deal, right? Lost to Waters, lost to Danny Barlow. You know, no real shame there, but that went to the third round. So I wouldn't be surprised if this goes the distance. Yeah, I just kind of favour Fugitt a little bit, or Fugitt, whatever we're calling him. I think maybe he can get a decision win some minutes on the card, and hopefully stay safe enough and not get knocked out.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think like I said, I think he may be able to get it done. So we'll see. No need to beat this one with a stick. Up next is Jimmy Flick and Nate Maness. 16 books or 31 books, 16 days. Jimmy Flick is plus 351. Nate is minus 500. The over appears to be set at plus 1.5, and it's about plus 150, depending on where you find it for the over, and minus 200 for the under. I mean, it's Jimmy Flick by submission or Nate Maness by knockout. And then you got to find your juice on it. So, bet if you can get the same game parlays, you bet Nate Maness, money line, knockout, plus knockout, plus under 1.5, and get the best odds you can for a same game parlay on it. And then you take Jimmy Flick and you just bet him by submission with no round limit on it, because of Maness. I know he's got a good tank. I'm just saying, if he tires out at all and Jimmy can keep it together, he's bound to find something. Jimmy searches for a lot of submissions. He transitions really well. Yeah, that's just my take on this one. Trace, why don't you tell me how it's really going to go down?
Man, I think Nick Maness just knocks him, or Nate Maness knocks him out probably pretty viciously in this fight at some point. I'm leaning round one. I'm gonna play the round one, round two prop on FanDuel. Honestly, Flick's got to get in and try to get him down to any cost. Like, this is the truth about Flick. Flick is a moment winner. He's never going to win a fight off of minutes. He's going to find a moment to make a submission happen, or he's not going to win. He can't. He's not somebody that's going to go in there and outwork somebody for the win. He's going to finesse something, get something sneaky, and that's it. Other than that, he loses the entire fight until he does that. So, if you're betting Jimmy Flick, you are betting on a submission. Like you said, I 100% agree with you. If you're on Jimmy Flick, you got to be on that submission, because there's no other way he's winning this fight. But yeah, give me Maness by knockout.
Agree. But
Like you
man, I brought up that other window and almost got some feedback there. Mike, nice to see you in the room, bud. Ozzy, get after it. Mike, whenever you're ready to get on the mic, bro, throw that hand up. I'll throw it right over. We want to hear what you got to say on two back, too.
Yeah, man, I love Manez round 1K here at plus 145. I think that's kind of a must play. But I also like Flick round one at 8-1 and round two sub at 20-1. I think that's kind of crazy. If Flick wins, exactly like Trace was saying, it's just an opportunistic submission here. I mean, I taped this fight today, and man, Flick's fun to watch, man. I mean, he is just terrified on the feet. Every second he's on the feet, he's literally shitting broken glass, man. And he gets pieced up. The Costa fight, he kicked the shit out of his leg. He almost dropped him with leg kicks. After 3 leg kicks, he had to fight southpaw. Then he was getting his other leg kicked out. Just unbelievable, man. Then when he fought Gordon. Gordon came out fighting like an idiot. He came out trying to take him down, and Flick kind of had him in a triangle choke, and Gordon escaped. Then he had him in a, what are we calling it now? OSP,
Oh,
whatever,
same.
Von Prub, whatever we call it. And then in the second round, he got him in the arm triangle. Like Gordon just couldn't wait to fuck that fight up. Um, but I really don't see Maness giving Flick the opportunities that Gordon was doing. He's going to stay at distance. He's going to time his strikes perfectly, and he's going to knock him out. I think, and he's going to knock him out early. So give me Maness KO at plus 145, and I might take a tiny little stab at some of those Jimmy Flick round props, but Maness KO is the bet here.
I don't disagree with any of that. And you have to play the Flick submission. I mean, you're going to get good money on it, and I shouldn't say you have to, but if you're a guy who hedges the bet, you're just fucking foolish not to.
Easy,
Mike,
easy hedge.
yeah, Mike, nice to see you on the mic, bro. Why don't you hit this fight, and then when we're done, I know there's one fight in here we want to ask you about what your take was, and then we'll just move on, bro.
Okay, well, yeah, this take is pretty simple as far as this one. Like, Nate is a lock, and he's going to knock him out pretty viciously early. I'd say probably round two because he likes to play around on the feet, but his precision and his power is no joke, and he has really strong takedown defense. Flick is going to have to do something like he did on Cody Durden, like a flying triangle. He's just going to have to completely catch him off guard to get a submission on him. But I don't see that happening. Maness is really going to he's going to finish him early.
I mean, yeah, there's no real argument for that. Like, it's just the betting point of view that you have to play the Jimmy Flick submission, especially what do you say 20-1? Like, if you can take it by the round and get it at 20-1, fuck, man. I just feel like play a quarter unit on it. Put $2 on it. Like shit, just put something on it. All right, we'll cap that one out. Hey, we were talking a little bit, and we were fairly split. Tell these fools why Jeka's gonna knock Westin Wilson out, bro.
Wait, y'all are split on that fight?
I mean, I'm not. Jeka's gonna knock Westin Wilson out. I'm not.
Wait to say split. I'm just saying I was gonna play a sub a quarter unit probably on the sub round props as long as they're pretty good odds just on the Weston Wilson just because I don't think this is the highest level of fights and shit happens.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to bet on Wilson, it's sub. He's not going to outstrike him. His striking is fucking horrible. But yeah, the sub is the only way to get him, and he's gonna have to like really be stronger than Jeka, and he he's not. Jeka is really strong, and he's not just all power punches. He has really good takedown defense too. You got to really outmuscle that man. He's not going to. Jeka's gonna force him on the feet, and he's gonna knock him out pretty bad. It's gonna be bad.
I think if Weston shoots and fucking eats the waist, I think Jeka could knock him out just hitting him in the side of the head right there, bro. I feel like Jeka hits that hard. I feel like he could really. Weston is in trouble. He has to play the distance, and he's not that smart.
My opinion on it was that Jeka is so short in comparison. He has to really close a lot of distance to get in. If he's close enough to punch, Wilson can clinch for sure. And whether he can get him down with that height and leverage or pull guard or whatever he might be able to do, guillotine choke,
Just letting
that
him
was more what I was thinking. Yeah, if he's close enough to land strikes, Wilson's close enough to grab the brick.
Zabets, get after it.
I kind of agree with your take on this, Joe, of the Asian fighter. They're gonna promote him. But what do you guys think about the under on this fight as well?
Oh yeah, this
Yeah,
fight's
definitely play it.
fun probably. Under's probably safe. This fight most likely ends in round one.
Yeah, you know, some books let you get that gone in 60 seconds. You know, that's not a bad bet on Jeka. If you can get Jeka to win in 60 seconds, that might be all it takes. He doesn't, you know, TKO you. You know, he knocks you out. And Weston Wilson could definitely get knocked the fuck out.
I know DraftKings offers a fighter to win under a half round as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't see what he can do in the second half. He can't do in the first half. You know, if he lands, you know, 4 or 5 clean punches, he's probably clocking this guy.
Yeah, definitely agree. So we're circling back now. Let's get back into the actual card. I think we're on to the.
Tagir Ergen.
No, we skipped Hiestand and Armfield, right?
No, that doesn't come next.
Yeah, we're on
Tapology.
Armfield.
Anyways, or Joe, we'll go off whatever you got. We'll just keep your order then.
Actually, he's right. It's
Oh, so
Joshua Van.
yeah, it's Joshua Van and Tagir Ulanbekov. That's the next fight, flyweight.
All right.
I think I'm on the UFC's stats and our site. I go back and forth to make sure, because sometimes our site flips them out of order. So I flip back and forth just for card continuity. Josh is minus or plus 179 at 33 books, as deep as 16 days old. Tagir is minus 227 on average at those same books. Man, I really like fight to go the distance. No here. I don't think Joshua Van is. I don't. I don't think he should be at plus 179, but I don't feel like it's a huge disparity. I would see him where he should probably sit more at like plus 120 or 130. I just think it's a matter of whether or not he will be strong enough to fight Tagir, like physically strong enough. And if he is, if he can match the strength and find some takedown defense, I don't know. I think he's got a chance here. Trace, what do you got on this fight?
Man, as much as I'd like to say, I won't. I mean, Josh Van's going to win this fight. I just don't think he's got much of a chance in this. I think Tagir's the real deal. I think he's probably going to go out there, secure the takedown, and wrap up submission probably round one, round two. I do like Joshua Van, but the kid's only 22 years old. If he goes in here and loses and looks good, it still rises his stock, because I do think, like I said, that Tagir's the real deal. But the kid's young; he's got plenty of time to grow. But he could also come in here and have improvements in leap and bounds. With the thing with him being young, it can be a bad thing and a good thing depending on how they go about it. They're young; they have plenty of time to bounce back. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit too much too soon. I think they're giving him a jump up in competition a little bit too much, a little too early for him. So yeah, give me Tagir by submission. Mike, what you got on this fight, brother?
I got it the same. Yeah, Tagir is just, yeah, he's the real deal. His striking is really good. I don't like how he kind of catches and returns a lot early, but the way he approaches striking is he'll, how would I say this? When he returns off his strikes, he returns at different angles all the time. So it's going to be hard for Joshua Van to read what's coming back at him, especially when it's coming back at him at the same time he's throwing punches. And then the way he mixes in takedowns, I think it's going to be a striking fight at first. Joshua Van is going to think it's going to be all good. It's his kind of fight, but he's going to figure out real quick that Tagir's the real deal. He's going to be outstruck. And then once he gets taken down, he's going to get submitted, because I don't think he can match the strength of Tagir at all.
He is at a 5-inch reach advantage too, Josh Van. He's got a 65-inch reach versus Tagir 70. So yeah, he's got an uphill battle from the start. Usman.
Yeah, when it comes to this one, I'll personally be betting on intangibles, hoping that Van is on that side of 22, where he's the only one in his gym that's getting focused on. You got to know that whether it was going to be Tagir or Tyra, they had to be working on the takedown defense. And he's going to have a lot of those opportunities to, if he can stuff takedowns, steal rounds with his pressure and his volume. I understand why people are on Ulanbekov. I understand why he's the side. Like I said, I'll be betting on the unknowns and hoping the young kid from Texas pulls it through. What I will say is over two and it's set at over 2.5 minus 125. This is why I like to do the split strat and write everything down last minute because I get to see where the line moved from when we talk about it today and when I write about it on Sunday or Friday. Goes to split plus 350. That hits our criteria. Goes the distance plus 105. Doesn't hit our criteria, but it's right goddamn there. And if it comes Friday that we're in the minus money for goes the distance, I'll be all over that over.
Ozzy.
Yeah, I haven't really had a deep look into this fight yet, but I'm kind of hoping I can get to a spot where I pick Van. I really do like Van, man. His body work and that boxing range is really, really good. And if he can get off on some of that early, man, I mean, that's going to pay dividends come later in the fight. Uh, Problem is, I expect Ulanbekov to get his takedowns early and get a bit of control. Just looking at some of the odds, again, I haven't really looked into this fight, but um, Ulanbekov KO plus 1,000. I know he doesn't have one on his record yet, but he could definitely get a positional ground and pound TKO. His stand up is not shit either. It's decent there. So that just looking at the odds, that's one I kind of like. Just staring at me plus 1,000. I think that's a decent play right there. And I wouldn't hate some Van round three either. I can see it's only plus 1,800. I expect to get a much better line at other books, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does get some good body work early on. But yeah, I'm gonna take this fight today, and hopefully I find something I really like.
Za.
I'm gonna agree with Usman here. I kind of lean Van in this fight for narrative purposes. On the UFC, I think they're trying to push a narrative out there, but I might throw him in a parlay. We'll see. But my play is gonna be the over as well. I like the over 1.5 or 2.5. Fight to start the third round.
I will say this for the Joshua Van lovers. Going into this, I thought I was for sure going to be on Joshua Van, but when you look back at his wins, they're just it's not the best or the strongest wins that he's got in the UFC. So the performances aren't as good as we thought they were, or at least I thought they were originally watching. So yeah, I don't hate any Josh Van love. I do think the kid's got a bright future. I just think it's a little bit too much too soon. Usman.
Yeah, last thing I'll say is that we're already getting some good money on Van if you're betting him. Um, One thing that we've seen is he's going to be one of these fighters that takes a little while to get going, whether it come at the end of the first round or at the start of the second. I think this would be a great live betting opportunity because whether Tagir does start getting them takedowns or he just starts slow, we're going to get an even bigger number after round one, I think.
I ain't mad at that at all. Ozzy, close this out.
Sorry, man. Just one last quick thing. I know you guys probably know, but the Tagir Elliott fight, I'm hearing a lot of Tim was in there cheating his ass off. What was the controversy there?
He kept grabbing the glove.
Grabbing a guy. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna rewatch. I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch that fight today. But it looks
I
like the
think
only
that just threw
blemish.
him off more than anything. And once he was thrown off, like the whole flow of the fight was just, it was all Tim Elliott.
He ain't
Yeah,
cheating.
I mean
He's dirty, man.
he got the split decision against Nascimento, then lost the decision to Ali. Is he gassing late or something?
Yeah, he slows a little bit, but he's still in that fight. So it's not like he's defenseless.
Yeah,
Tim also
all
pushes a
right.
crazy
Thanks.
pace early in the fight that most people don't, though. Joe, what you got next for us?
Man, I thought we was gonna talk about this one for the whole 90 minutes, boys. God damn. Uh, up next, Brady Hiestand versus Garrett Armfield. Garrett is Garrett's trying to get down on social media lately. I don't know if anybody's following him or not. 33 books, 16 days old, minus 185. Garrett Armfield on average. Brady Hiestand plus 149 on average. I believe it is set at over 2.5, minus 180, under 2.5, plus 150. I think this is a really fun fight to watch, and I will have absolutely no bets on it at all. Mike, why don't you kick this one off, bro?
Okay, I am on Hiestand. I was on Armfield before I broke down the tape, but just a couple things that I've noticed. The striking of Garrett Armfield, I believe, is severely underrated. He's a phenomenal striker. And he's gonna probably catch Hiestand early for some reason. I don't know why, but Hiestand is just defensively irresponsible, especially just early. Sorry, I had to drink some water. So when that happens, he immediately gets on his wrestling. And I believe the wrestling and the cardio of Hiestand is going to be a big factor. He can go. We've seen him go all 15 minutes. We've seen him have a crazy pace, whether it's striking and wrestling. And after that first round, he becomes a little bit more smart with his strikes. His setups are better. His defense and footwork is a lot better. And the one thing that I love when I'm breaking down the tape is I love seeing improvement. He stands striking, although it's not perfect, he is improving on it. And that with his high pace cardio wrestling, I think he's just going to be too big for Armfield to handle throughout the 15 minutes. Hiestand by decision is my prediction.
Very nice. Very nice. Trace, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, I just think that the fight, if anything, for Garrett Armstead to be at minus 180, I think it's more to do with like you were mentioning, Joe, with his MMA Twitter, uh, his willingness to engage with people on Twitter and him being personable on Twitter. I think he's a more of a fan favorite, and that gets construed into the betting. I think this fight should be more close to a pick 'em. So it makes me want to take Hiestand because he's a sizable dog where he should be closer to a pick 'em fight. I do think, like Mike said, that the danger for Hiestand's mostly in the first round, and after that it kind of fizzles out. So yeah, I think if he weathers the storm early, he probably wins the fight in a split decision. But I think early on he's gonna eat some punches, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he handles those. So I'll probably play Armfield KO round 1, 2, and then hedge with a Hiestand. Probably go a little heavier on the Hiestand decision prop, and I guess the Armfield will be more of a hedge in that case. So yeah, I agree with Mike, but I'm gonna play a little bit of it on both sides.
Very nice. Ozzy, you had your hand up quick, bro. I just tried to shuffle it up. Get after it.
Yeah, man, I really like Hiestand here, man. He's had almost 20 minutes top control in his 3 fights. He goes for takedowns a lot. He's pretty relentless. And yeah, he has been hurt early, but if you watch those fights, he gets dropped and within 30 seconds he's on his opponent's back, man. Like he gets dropped, he recovers quick, he keeps his wits about him. And man, grappling, he's really good. I mean, he's very opportunistic. I really like this kid, and I think he's going to have the gas tank here. And I think come that third round, if this has been real heavy grapple fight, I really favour Heinstead. I'm going to have him to win by decision. I agree with everything you guys said. Um, yeah, Armfield. Yeah, he's a really good fighter too. I'm a bit surprised that they matched these two up together because both of these guys could have gone on a bit of a run, I think, before meeting each other. But really good fight for the card. I also thought it was going to be a pick'em, and if the line was reversed, I'd be betting Armfield. But at this line, I got to bet Brady here, and I'll probably have him to win by decision as well.
Very nice, bud. Very nice. Usman.
So I was an overboy before I started this strat, and not to kill it, but everything on the strat is saying hit the over, so that's what I'll be on. Personally, when it comes to picking a side, all I see is love for Hiestand. To me, most of the time, that's kind of like a red flag. Uh, just because the public don't win, like we always say. But I just like Garrett. I think yeah, his Twitter personality has something to do with the people liking him. But the two fights that we've seen him in, the Brad Katona fight, we'll all hate Brad Katona for his performance this past Saturday. But the dude is good. I think we can all agree that he's very well rounded and good. Um, Pretty much, I thought handedly beat Katona in that one, and I was holding a damn Katona ticket. I think so. I, I think it's like the opposite of what I said about the Joshua Van fight, to where he's still young and he has the intangibles on his side. I always try to root for Tough. I'm not gonna be mad whoever wins here, but just something about Brady just hasn't gotten me to really push for him and see massive growth that he'll need for this fight. I'm on Garrett, but mostly the over.
My biggest worry about Hiestand, and we saw it in his, I guess it's his coach. I'm not really sure what Mike oh shit, what's his last name?
Chiesa?
Mike Chiesa. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like Michael Chiesa has been in the UFC for how long? He has shown no improvement in his stand-up game whatsoever since Tough. So with that being said, like, can you expect that from Hiestand? That's what I'm worried about. I feel like what's holding him back is being a homebody and a Washington boy and not wanting to leave. I feel like his potential to be a lot better if he left the camp, but I don't. He just seems like such a loyalist that he probably wouldn't ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any rebuttal for that. I don't think he leaves either. I'll say that. I don't think he leaves either. Ozzy, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually interviewed him on my show, and he's got no intention of leaving, man. He loves his team. He's sticking around. Maybe he'll eventually make a move once these guys start retiring or whatever. But yeah, his mindset is definitely there at the moment. He has trained a bit with what's his name? My God, the Sarah Longo crew, Aljo and all that. He has trained with those guys a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if he heads over there eventually, or for parts of the year, not necessarily his camp. But yeah, he's been over there a bit too.
Still not really fixing the holes in the boxing over there, though. Like, not that there's like huge holes. I'm just saying he's not going to go there and become a premier striker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's accurate to say. What we got up next here? Asu, Alam.
Also, Almabaev.
Joe, we're
Yes,
gonna stay here till you get it right, mate.
fuck you, Almabaev. You know, most of them I can get, bro. Most of them I could get, but some of them I just ain't got it in me. Versus Jose Johnson, minus. Fuck, dude. 32 books. Asu is at minus 588. Jose Johnson is at plus 400. You can see him as bad as I just want to know how far he goes. Plus 500, and you can see, holy shit. If you are at Gosvener, which I believe is an Australian book, I would have to have Aussie confirm that. He is minus 715. Holy shit.
What was the book, Joe?
How do you say this? Grosvenor?
I haven't heard of it. Nah.
Then it's probably a UK book. It's not a US book. We got like 40 or 50 of them, bro. I don't know all of them. Fuck, if we can get their odds displayed and people can see it and we can add it to the averages, I'm all about it. I don't think there's much to talk about here, so I'm gonna say nothing at all. Trace, what do you got on this fight?
Yeah, so I actually took also Almabaev at minus 370. I got him pretty early. Got ahead of the steam apparently, but Yeah, man, at minus 700, like you're just irresponsible if you're not taking a shot on the dog at this point. The kid's 6'1" at 125 pounds, assuming he makes the weight. Like that dude could kick him from across the fucking ring, bro. Like, I mean, at some point you gotta play the gigantic guy just for that at that big of juiced odds, just because. So like at minus 700, I'd love to know what the KO prop is for him at that division or for that book. But yeah, I think Asu should be able to go out there and like I said, probably secure 7 takedowns in his way to a decision, maybe a late round submission. Yeah, I think he gives Jose every bit of it, but I might, if this line keeps blowing out of control like it already has, like I'm probably already gonna take a shot now. But yeah, I'll probably take a nice little hedge at plus 1400 or something crazy like that.
Nice. Aussie.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy at this price at the moment. We really don't know how good this guy is. He hasn't really fought, great level of competition. And Johnson, like I said, he proposes a lot of problems at this weight class for anyone, just with that length and size. His big problem is he does tend to really, even in the striking, he finds himself really close in the pocket. And when you got a length and reach like that, you don't want to do that. And that's where he's going to get taken down and probably rinse and repeat. I'm kind of leaning a little bit towards the decision. I don't necessarily think he gets the submission and just rolls straight through him. Um, so yeah, I mean, in his last fight, he went the distance. Is that right? Asu, I think he did off memory. So yeah, I don't mind that. I think he might get 10 takedowns on this guy, but he's going to dominate on the ground. And yeah, unless Johnson does something, big knee up the middle, or he can definitely do something with his long reach. But if he tends to fight close and get into clinch range, he's going to get taken down every time. So I'd like to see him stay at distance, really low leg kicks. I don't want to see no thigh kicks. Like I want you low on that calf if you're throwing kicks. Definitely no body kicks, and let's see how we can do. But he's got to fight really smart here and try to survive.
Yeah, for Guerra, he went to a decision with, but Jose Johnson has lost by submission in 4 of his
Oh man,
So yeah, he's
I had 10 units on Blackshear to beat this kid, and that was one of my most confident picks ever. Man, he comes out and gets my boy in a twister. That was amazing. So yeah, that was. I think he obviously got 50K for that twister as well. But yeah, that was. I could see him get rolled up again here, but ain't going to be no twister. It's going to be a lot of top pressure, and maybe Jose gives up his back and gets submitted. But if not, this could go the distance for sure.
Mike. What you got on this fight, brother?
Yeah, at this price, I mean, you might as well take a shot at the dog, but and that only reason I would say that is because Almabaev has never really faced anyone as big as Jose Johnson. And Johnson's a really good striker. He's just takedown prone, and Almabaev is really good at takedowns. And he's kind of a little bit too cocky when he goes for the takedowns, especially when he's just setting up his strikes. He is really open to counters, especially the knee of Jose Johnson. So even though I believe he's gonna win the decision, I don't see him trying to pass or take a back or anything. The dude is big. He's also really good at submissions too. So I think it's just gonna be in the guard, ground and pound for 15 minutes. But yeah, I think that's it. Either you take that prop or you take a shot at the dog.
It'll be interesting to see if he goes in and tries to shoot singles or doubles, or if he goes for trips. Because I don't think he finds success in the singles and doubles. I think he has to go for the trips because of just the height. I mean, we know that tall man defense for takedowns is a real thing, especially in that with a height disadvantage like this.
Yeah.
All right, let's get at what's up next. Miles Johns versus Douglas Silva Andrade.
There it is.
I don't know if we're gonna call him DSA or what. But it's got to get there eventually, right? All right, so odds on this fight, Miles Johns is shit. I lost my fucking place. Miles Johns minus 128. Silva de Andrade plus 102. That is the average over 33 books. When you hear plus 102, that means he is minus money and plus money over all the books if you're looking at our website. So plus money on Silva at plus 102, 33 books reporting. I got a quick take on this fight. Silva does have good takedown defense, but it is not flawless, and it is not relentless takedown defense. It is super solid and looks really good initially, and it cracks and it fades. And if you want to find a way to get there, it seems like you can. Miles Johns is going to expose that. He's probably going to stretch it to the over and win this fight by decision based on control time, in my opinion, because I think it's a very clear path for him. He can definitely take him down, and he can probably even get some ground and pound off on him. Yeah, that's just my take. I'm going to turn it over to one of the guys with tape here. Mike, get after it.
Yeah, I'm on Andrade. Miles is a good wrestler, but he's not a high-paced wrestler. And even when Andrade is taken down, he has a really good get-up game. He's faster, he's stronger. I believe he has way better footwork, and really, it's just the pace. Like Miles John has a slow and steady pace, and Andrade is going to be able to see everything that's coming his way. As long as he's not too reckless and gets hit with that left hook, I think it's Andrade all day by decision. If not, inside the distance late.
Yeah, I mean, he's very dangerous. I think as the fight drags on, though, the threat becomes less and less. Like, that's just my thought.
Oh, and another thing, it's just the competition as well. Like, think about who he's went up against. Andrade has been up against some really top level competition. Johns has not.
Just
Uh,
to your point, his only losses in the UFC are to Zubair Tukagov, Rob Font, Piotr Jan, Lerone Murphy, and Saeed Nurmagomedov.
And he competed well against all of them.
Yeah, he's basically been thrown to the wolves since he's been in the UFC. Nothing but tough fights. He holds a win over Marlon Chito Vera. Also holds a win over Cody Gibson early in their careers. I just I was on Cody Gibson. I thought he was going to come at him with a high pace and be able to wrestle with him. He wasn't able to. I don't know what happened, if we just overestimated him. But I do know Silva Andrade is going to come and throw hammers for 15 minutes. Going to have the wrestling defense to keep the fight standing. And I do think we see Miles John be the one that fades later in the fight after not being able to get the wrestling takedowns and being forced to strike with Silva Andrade when he's not comfortable, man. Being anxious and being nervous of getting hit by someone that powerful takes effects on people, man. I think Silva Andrade probably gets the decision here, but I would not be surprised if he gets the finish late. So I probably will play round 3 or decision for beat Silva Andrade, and I might just play a little bit of round 3, just depending on what the hell juice the odds are. So I'll probably get a good number, especially if he keeps moving in the way of a dog. Like, people seem to be betting Miles. I'm surprised by it, but I guess the age is a bit of a hindrance for a lot of people to take the bet. But give me Silva Andrade. Aussie.
Yeah, man. Me and Trace have been right on a couple of these fights with the same opinions, man. I won't repeat everything he said, but I'll just add to it a little bit. Um, let's see. Miles Johns has seen the third round in 8 of his last 9 fights, and like Trace was saying, this is a different animal. This is a different fight. You're not going to get all your takedowns. If you do, he's going to get back up, and I think he needs really takedowns to win this fight, John. So I don't think he's going to stop shooting. He needs to keep shooting. I think he's going to get pieced up a little bit on the feet here. Um, Douglas Silva, he can fight close in some fights. He needs to pick up the volume a little bit. I keep hearing he's old. Well, I haven't really seen that he's old yet. People are talking about it, but maybe show it to me. I think he's got some gas left in the tank. He's back on the secret sauce. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I really like him here. I like him late a lot, like Trace was saying. Give me that round 3, man. I keep betting against John's round 3. He's shown a better gas tank, but that's because he's kind of against a bit lesser competition. I think this is a step up for John's here, man. I think if it wasn't for, if the Silva was 10 years younger on paper, I think he'd be a bigger favourite. I think a lot of people are passing him by because they think he's getting a bit old, but we're going to see how old he is this weekend, man. And I'm definitely going to pay to see it. Give me the Andrade round 3, and I'll take a little bit of round 3 sub. And I know I'm going to get a good price on that.
I'll follow suit on that. I might play the sub as well. Joe, what do you got?
I'm ready for the next fight. You ready for the next fight?
Rock, yeah, I think we killed that one.
Yeah, me too. Lucas Almeida and Timothy Cuamba. Did I say that right?
Cuamba.
All right, we'll go with that. You probably got that one right, maybe. 34 books. Timmy is minus 204. Lucas Almeida plus 162. I'll be honest, man. I was looking for an audio clip that I could play on loud into my microphone that said layup. Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall here. The UFC wants Timmy to get a finish and get into the win column in the big show, not just on the Contender Series. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I just think that the writing's on the wall there. No tape on this one. Not a fight I'm very interested in at all, to be honest, from a betting standpoint. I know we don't got Mike for much longer. So, Mike, why don't you give us your take on this fight and then plug your website? And before you get out of here, I'd like to tell you that I'm not insulting you, but if you need any help with your website or anything, bro, I can help you. Like, I do all that shit. I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty clever with some of it, bro. So if you'd like a hand with anything, or like maybe a little bit more of a news format, I could probably help you set that up, bro, real easy. So you get a feed or something. Anyways, get after this fight, bro, and then have a good night.
All right, it's all good. Like I'm not good at web design, and I'm doing everything myself, so I just kept it simple. So yeah, but let me see. Quamba has all the tools, the speed, the power, the defensive movement to end Almeida early. However, if he doesn't, Almeida has a pace and a striking flow that he keeps with him throughout the fight that will be a danger to Cuamba as the fight goes on. Especially those leg kicks, and especially that, I think it's the right hook, when he goes to the body and follows up with the right hook. Cuamba needs to be very intent on ending this fight in round 1. And that's the prop I'm gonna play. But don't be surprised if Almeida does survive that he finishes Cuamba in like round 2 or 3. Oh, and well, yeah, that's my take. I'm about to go. My website is allinforbettertimes.com. The number 4 and better, BETTOR. I have all the fight card breakdowns, and I'm doing PFL and Bellator next week. And yeah, that's it. Follow me on the social media too.
And he's been killing it. For those that haven't been following him, I retweet most of his best that he puts out. Solid few weeks he's been having. So good shit on his website as well. Yeah,
And I've hit just one thing. I've hit the last 5 of my best bet parlays, half cash, and I'm going for 7 this week.
So yeah, if you don't already follow him, go give him a follow, guys. Like I said, we enjoy having him on here, and we appreciate him coming and give us our takes. I was going to play devil's advocate because I figured I knew Mike had said earlier this week that he was on Timmy Cuamba pretty heavy, or pretty favorably. But yeah, I know that Almeida's coming off, I think it's 2 losses in a row. Yeah, 2 losses, 1 to Sabatina and 1 to Andre Philly. The Andre Philly KO, not the best look. But if this fight goes late and Cuamba does seem to have if he does have cardio issues, which I don't think he will, but if he has cardio issues, Lucas Almeida's power is there throughout the fight and he can get the finish. But I think Timmy's probably going to be able to get the fight done here in the first round, and by round one or two KO. So I'll be playing that on FanDuel as well. Yeah, but I think it's going to be a banger for as long as it lasts.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I can't convince myself to bet on this fight. I just don't. I don't know. Whenever I look at it, to me, it's just to stay off of it. I'm parlaying, man, and for me, it's just not a solid spot anywhere for a parlay, in my opinion. Not even the under. So I'm just not doing it. You ready for the next fight, Trace?
Yeah, let's rock.
Ikram Eliskerov, Antonio Tricoli. Odds on this one are off the fucking charts. 19 books, minus 1250 for Ikram. Under 1.5, minus 180. I agree. I'm very high on Ikram. I have been since he showed up in the UFC. There's been nothing that has changed my mind about that yet. Yeah, Ikram, first round. Thought probably knockout. Ikram is gonna fucking put work on Antonio, in my opinion. It's hard for me on these ones because I know I can get over talking. I've watched all Ikram's tape. I've looked up the shit that's hard to find. I'm really high on him, so I think the line is crazy. I think being minus 1,400 is, god damn. I don't know if it's that far off. I would expect to see minus 700 or 800, but whatever, it is what it is. Trace, what do you got on this fight?
This dude lost to Diego Lima, Jacob Volkman outside of the UFC. Yeah, I think that kind of tells you all you really need to know about him. Diego Lima has had multiple attempts at UFC stints and couldn't find success in the UFC. I don't think he's going to come out here. And the guy that lost to him is going to come in here and beat a highly touted prospect like Ikram. Yeah, I'll probably play the. Let me see what this guy looks like. So he's a submission guy. Most of his ones by submission. Yeah, I'll probably play Ikram round 1 KO. Probably play the round 1 or 2 on FanDuel just to play it safe, just in case this guy's able to make it and be a little bit durable. But yeah, I think this is just a quick W for Ikram, nice little payday, and smooth sailing.
Yeah, you got to give these guys fights, right? So
Yeah, like I would say if this is a guy that I know is proven, I would take a dog shot against him. But I just think at this point it's probably unwarranted and probably just a waste of money. So why even hedge? At this point, you're not going to make a good bet, so it's just a pass for me. Outside of finding some value on that round 1 or 2 KO prop.
yeah, I 100% agree with that. Aussie.
Yeah, man, they put this guy up against Tricoli, man. There's no need for this, man. That's crazy. I guess they're pissed off. So what happened? He pissed hot for his Contender Series fight in 2019, right? Then 2 years later, came back, had another fight, won that by choke, and then they brought him back in, and now they're punishing him, man. He shouldn't have signed this contract. They should have told him to get fucked. They're putting him in here against this guy. What's he plus 800 to win or something? That's crazy. I mean, you give me this guy Ikram at what is he minus 1,000 or something to win? It's just insane odds. But him to win by submission is plus 170. You give me plus 170 on a guy that's minus 900 or minus 1,000. I'm going to take it. That's the prop that's paying, so that's the prop I'm betting. I can see him even taking this guy down and just submitting him real quick. I can see him knocking him down and submitting him instead of ground and pound. He does whatever he wants to this guy, and um, just because the other guy's got Tricoli's got a couple of subs, yeah, that's against some trash cans, man. I don't rate his submission game really at all. I think he's going to get worked on the mat if this hits the mat. So, yeah, I'm hoping maybe Tricoli lands something on the feet that just makes Ikram think, oh, fuck it, I'll just take you down and tap you out, because that plus 170 by submission, yeah, I'm going to take that. Why not? At a guy that's this price, this massive favorite, yeah, why not just go with the prop that's paying?
What's crazy is I'm looking at Tapology, and they're saying for him he has 3 KOs, but I only see one. He has 1 KO in his his MMA debut, his pro debut, but okay, never mind. There's a couple of fights that aren't labeled as how he won, so I was trying to figure out where the KOs came from. But yeah, like submission guy versus a elite around well-rounded fighter. Give me the well-rounded fighter. What do you got next, Joe?
Main event time: Tatsuro Taira versus Alex Perez. Alex Perez, 34 books plus 147. Tatsuro Taira minus 185. I'm not gonna give all of the individual stuff. If you want to know what Darce said, go hit the video and then give us the like. But Darce favors Tatsuro Taira at a 55% win probability. Yeah, Darce is 8-0, so I'm not gonna post. I'm not. Yeah, I don't even like Tatsuro Taira. I fucking despise the guy. I can't wait for the day to fade him. And as much as I want to go, oh, the probability is only at 55%. Yeah, it's at 55% in every direction, though. Like it's 55% everywhere. So, yeah, I'm gonna say that Tatsuro probably takes that fight, and I still have no interest in that fucking fight, but I'll watch it anyway. What do you watched actual tape and actually care about this fight, Trace? What do you got on it?
Yeah, man, I go back and forth on it. So I do think it's closer to a pick 'em, like you're mentioning, a 55% implied, if anything, for Tyra. I don't think he's a huge, or at least shouldn't be a huge favorite coming in. This is a clear step up in competition for him. Alex Perez is one of those guys that's fought a lot of the high level guys. I consider him high level, even if the record lately hasn't really shown that. He's lost mostly to champions or former champions. Uh, With that being said, though, I think everything is being built. Obviously, is being built towards building up Tyra. I think him fighting multiple times a year, or any fighter fighting more than 2 or 3 times a year in a year's span, much less a short period of time like he has, doesn't tend to bode well. You're getting overtrained and overworked, and I think that is going to affect his performance here, man. If he was coming in with a full camp, uh, or yeah, like a full camp with a and not coming off of multiple fights already this year and having time to heal in between is mostly what I was getting at there. Um, yeah, I'd probably take a shot on him, and I still might play the late round props for him. I might play the rounds 3, 4, 5 KO, maybe even the sub prop, just because we don't know that Tyra's cardio is proven yet for 5 rounds. But I think Tyra more than likely gets his submission probably in round 2 or 3. I don't think he's going to be running through Perez particularly early. I think he's going to have to work for it, and yeah, I think he eventually gets a submission at some point. But I don't hate playing the Tyro decision prop, especially if it's going to be juicy. So, be interesting to see what some of those lines open up at. Ozzy.
Yeah, my man, you're speaking my language again. Tyra by decision plus 475. Give me some of that. I'll have some 4-5 or decision if it's even close, anywhere close to that line. Definitely look out for that, because sometimes they are relatively close to just the decision line. Um, Man, Perez ain't no bitch. He's looking really good lately. I know it's a quick turnaround for him. Only half of those cancelled fights were his fault. Uh, it's pretty insane that the amount of cancelled fights he's had. But he's back in the game now. He's feeling good and he's ready to go. Um, Tatsuro Taira, he's gone 3 rounds with much lesser fighters than Alex Perez of late. And, you look at Perez, he's been submitted a few times, man. Some of them were like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. I like Perez to survive, man. He's no slouch on the ground. He's a good jiu-jitsu guy. I don't see him really giving up his back. And Tatsuro Taira, I guess he could maybe pass. his guard, past his guard, get to side control or get to mount and do some work there. Maybe force Perez to give up his back, but I think Perez is going to do enough to stay alive in this fight. I don't think he's going to win. I do think Taira is the new face of the division, really, and the UFC is obviously giving him that push. Perez is a name guy, but I think he kind of takes him down and does what he wants to him. A bit worried about Perez later in the fight if he is having to defend a lot of takedowns and getting worked on the ground. But yeah, man, give me that Tatsuro Taira by decision plus 475. I think that's a great line, and I'll also have his round 4-5 or decision. Yeah, I like this fight to start round 4 at quite a big clip, and yeah, that's probably going to be one of the bets that makes me or breaks me on this card, man. That the price is just too good. I'm going to probably have more money on it than I really would like to, but the price is just too good for me to pass up.
Usman.
Yeah, so I was always on Tatsuro Taira before Dars had any action on this, but now that he is on Tatsuro, it's definitely an easier bet for me, or makes me feel a little more secure. One thing I wanted to bring up was we talked about the Alex Morono turning around in 7 weeks, and that just being in a real shitty area compared to like, oh, he turned around in 2 weeks. Everything is still fresh. He hasn't gotten to that point to where maybe he's overworking himself. Between the Makaya fight and the Nicolau fight, it was 8 weeks, and he won up against somebody that we knew had some chin issues like Nicolau. And this is 7 weeks between that fight and this Tyra fight. Just looking at probability, I think it's very, very unlikely that he comes and pulls the same stunt back to back in the same time frame and shuts down another prospect that or somebody that the UFC wants to push. Just based on that, it also helps me feel a lot more confident about a Tatsuro Taira bet. But the way that he jumps on the back and whatnot, I know Aussie was saying that Perez is a good grappler, and he is, and he is going to do his best to get it to not let him get on the back. I just think when it comes to Tatsuro, he has them little sneaky ways to at least get on that back and mount up some control time, and then his striking is coming along, man. So I'm on Tatsuro.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's going to be a very telling fight. Like I said, it is a jumping competition, so it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it. But yeah, I think the UFC is going to give him every opportunity to make the best out of this. I'm sure they're making everything comfortable for him, making everything as good as they can for him because they want like Joe had mentioned earlier, they definitely want that Asian sensation.
Yeah, he's one of these guys. This card definitely has I don't know the word I'm looking for, but there are definitely some Asian fighters on here that seem to be getting little bits of pushes. Tea time gossip. I seen you grab the mic, bud. If you want to get on, just throw your hand up. Anything we're talking about, you're more than welcome to get on. Ozzy, go ahead.
Yeah, one more thing I will say about this card. Back at the Apex again, and again, we've seen some of these really tall guys versus the small guys. These tall guys aren't going to have much room to move, so that's another thing to look at if you're thinking of betting unders or how you think the fights are going to go. A lot less room for these guys to dance around and keep distance. So that's something to look at. And yeah, the grapplers do well in the small cage as well for the same reason. So yeah, there's a lot of couple of matchups on here. Really interested in like the Garrett Armfield, Brady Hiestand. Like these guys are both really good guys. And like we were just saying, or you were just touching on with Perez and Tyra, that's really a lot of this card is set up to who are we going to push. You got a couple of stepping stone fights or this fighter needs a win fights on here, but there's also who we're going to put our weight behind. And there's some must-win fights for some of these guys if they want favourable matchups going forward. So I think it's going to be a lot more competitive. than we think, and some of these fights are going to be really, really good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this card.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a horrible card to watch. I think there's going to be some exciting finishes. Yeah, I really think there's going to be some exciting finishes. I think there's the early part of the card probably doesn't exhibit too much of that, though. Trace.
Not putting any weight or any stock into this. I just think it's always fun to get a fighter's take on a fight, especially in their division. So earlier today, I tweeted out towards Syed Jakub Kakramanov. We've had him on the show a time or two, so we do have somewhat of a relationship with him. But I just asked him who he thought who he was taking the main event, and he was on Alex Perez. He thinks Perez inside the distance is the way to go with this card. So yeah, I guess he's suspecting that the cardio is not going to hold up, or that just the jumping competition is going to be too much. So, if you were looking for an argument for the other side, there you go. A professional fighter thinks that Syed Jakub thinks that Perez is going to take this fight this weekend. So, yeah, always interesting to hear from another fighter.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not. You're 100% right. That's pretty cool that he responded to you. I didn't see that.